rise to the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for a moment of silent prayer or reflection. Thank you, everyone. Please be seated. Sharon, please take roll.
Ms. Bennett.
9 homes and
Mr. Betkowski. Here. Mr. DeMarco.
Here.
Mr. Dewar. Here. Ms. Filiaggi. Here. Mr. Fatulis. Here. Ms. Hallam.
Here.
Mr. Klein.
Here.
Mr. Macy.
Here.
Ms. Nacarati-Chapkus.
Here.
Mr. Palmieri.
Here.
Mr. Palmestina.
Here.
Ms. Pritzio. Here. Mr. Walton.
Here.
President Katina.
Here.
As of right now, we have 14 members present.
12842-23.
A proclamation recognizing Christopher Tobias for his unwavering commitment to the students in the Bethel Park School District, sponsored by Councilmember Dewar.
Hare, if you'd like to come up, please. Wrong one. Hello, fellow council members. So tonight I have the unique honor to honor one of my former teachers and someone who has dedicated his entire career to the betterment of Bethel Park High School students. Hare Tobias, or Mr. Tobias, or I know him as Hare Tobias, has been the Bethel Park High School's German teacher for how long now? 29 years. And I was fortunate enough to have him all 4 years of my high school tenure at Bethel Park High School. Hare has been an unwavering supporter for kids in Bethel Park. I can't speak enough to the impact he had on my education growing up in Bethel Park, but also first want to quickly say the first campaign I ran for was not for Democratic Committee, was not for County Council, it was actually for Bethel Park German Club Vice President. And the first political activity that I got involved with was not anything that has to do with any Democrat, Republican political party, but was to save the Bethel Park German program from being cut. That we were obviously successful in saving during my time there. Very quickly, want to give some background about the program in Bethel Park German program. It is one of the most difficult programs in Bethel Park High School. Advisors often advise against taking it because of the potential damage it could do to one's GPA. My advisor, my freshman year, said, "Why on God's earth would you do this to yourself? It is so difficult." But when you look through the roles of the top students at Bethel Park High School, you will find every single year folks that have been enrolled in Hare Tobias' German program. It attracts the best students because it is the most difficult. And Hare has been carrying on the tradition that his predecessor, Herr Dietrich, before him, of program that is difficult, that is fair, and that really builds a true appreciation and foundation for the German language and the German people during a time that is so important in our lives growing up. My personal journey through the program, I actually had to retake German, my freshman year of German again. And once again, my advisor pleaded against, "Why are you doing this? Why are you taking the same class you took again freshman year, my sophomore year?" And I remember sitting down with Hare Tobias when I was making that decision. He was the one that pushed me to do that. And while the program itself is outstanding and fantastic, I cannot speak to the depths of how much I admire and just can't thank Hare enough for how much he pushed me to better myself during what was a very impactful and important time in my life. Hare cares so much about his students. He cares so much about the program, but being a mentor and someone to look up to for, at this point, what is hundreds of students that have gone through Bethel Park High School. That's who Harry is. He pushes students at one of the most important and influential times in their lives to be the best versions of themselves, and does so without moving the goalposts. He is tough but fair and caring, and I cannot say enough about him. Yes, the program is excellent and built a strong foundation of German knowledge and its culture, but what has lasted long after my knowledge of the German language has receded, unfortunately, over the past few years, has been the values that Harry instilled in me and to the rest of my classmates. The values of hard work, perseverance, and commitment echo throughout his program and his work as a teacher, and his time at Bethel Park High School has made the lives of hundreds of students immensely better. But most importantly, Harry taught me the lesson that I carry on throughout my time in college, my time professionally, and my time serving on this body, was that, I really struggled during my time in his class. I was not a straight A student. I often skated by barely, despite putting in more effort for that class than any other class at Bethel Park High School, with low to mid C's, just skating by, but I stuck with it, and the lesson he taught me then that sticks with me now is, most of the time, you're not going to be the smartest person in the room that you're in. You're not going to be the best at whatever you're doing, but you can always strive to be the hardest working. And that is a lesson that he taught me time and time again as I was going through his class the 4 years I was at Bethel Park High School. And I know that is the same sentiment that he has instilled in so many others, that we are so incredibly lucky to have had him as our teacher. So I will now read the proclamation and then give you time to talk about the program. So whereas the principal goal of education in schools should be creating men and women who are capable of doing new things, not simply repeating what other generations have done. That quote by Gene McKay truly depicts the teaching style of Bethel Park High School, Herr Christopher Tobias. And whereas Herr Tobias has been teaching German in Bethel Park School District for 29 years and has spent 28 of those in charge of the German program at Bethel Park High School. And whereas throughout his career at Bethel Park, Herr Tobias has taught 6th through 12th grade and taught a handful of German classes at all levels such as Intro to Language German 1 at the middle school, German 1, Honors German 2, Honors German 3, Honors, AP German 4, and AP German 5 language and culture at the high school level. And whereas due to Herr Tobias' dedication to his students, he has received the CLET USA Award from the American Association of Teachers in German and CLET USA North America. And whereas his students have also won numerous awards in the regional German language competitions, such as the AATG National German Exam, the AATG Three Rivers German Day competition, and the Slippery Rock University World Language Competition. And whereas Herr Tobias' tenure at Bethel Park High School, over a dozen of his students have earned scholarships to live and study in Germany through the American Associations of Teachers in German and the Congress Bundestag Youth Exchange. And whereas as an inspiration to his students, 4 of Herr Tobias' former students have gone on to teach German themselves, 3 of them now teaching at high school level and 1 at the university level. Now therefore be it resolved that I, Allegheny County Councilmember Tom Dewar, do hereby recognize and thank Herr Christopher Tobias for his unwavering commitment to the students of Bethel Park High School and the Bethel Park School District, where he inspires his students every day to help make the German program a culture of excellence. In witness hereof, I hereunto cause the City of Allegheny to be affixed this 14th day, November 2023. Herr Tobias, congratulations and thank you all for your due.
I'm not really sure how to follow that. I think I'd actually forgotten a couple of those things. I would very much like to thank Councilman Durham. I would like to thank the council. And I have to say, I'm honored, I'm humbled, and I'm touched. When I found out about this, I really didn't know what to make of it. You know, if I were on the roster of the Penguins or the Riverhounds, I would gauge what I did probably by how many goals I scored or how many assists I was notching in a season. And you know, you could look at the statistics and you could say, yeah, this is going well. But as teachers, we often tend to play the long game. We work with the students, and especially when you teach high school students or students that are even younger, you have to wait a while to see them develop, see them grow, and see their learning come to fruition. And so it's a little different. You have certain touchstones, certain milestones that happen through your career that give you an indication that what you're doing is having the effect that you want it to have. But a lot of times you're going in and it's blind faith. You're doing the job, and you're doing it to the best of your ability, and you're hoping to have the greatest effect that you can possibly have. There are two things that I say to my students a lot. One of them is that if nothing that we do really matters, then all that really matters is what we do. And another one is that just because other people are doing things the easy way doesn't mean you shouldn't do them the right way. And when I'm telling them that, I'm hoping that that's rubbing off on them, but I'm also reassuring myself. And so sometimes you have to wait a while to see that student that ends up becoming a teacher themselves, or becoming a doctor, or becoming a police officer, or becoming an officer in the military, or becoming someone who shapes public policy. And that's when you really see that affirmation and hope, just hope that you had just that tiniest bit of an effect in guiding them on that path that allowed them to succeed. And so tonight, when I stand here in front of the council, and I'm here with individuals who are responsible for shaping the direction that our county is going to go, and they've decided to take the time to let me know that what I'm doing is appreciated. I just want to let everybody know that this powers my warp drive. This is rejuvenating, this is reaffirming, and this is one of those moments that you know, gives me an indication that no, what we do does really matter, especially when I hear Councilman Dura read off some of these things that I had completely forgotten about. And so, again, thank you very much. And before I close, I do want to mention one thing to everyone, but especially to Councilman Dura. A C or a C minus is not scraping by. A C or a C minus is accomplishing the mission. A C or a C minus means that you are meeting the requirements of the course, and there is nothing to be ashamed of in that. Not everyone is going to achieve an A right away. That's an elite effort. Not everyone is going to make a B right away. That's accomplishing the mission with flair. Some people are going to have to start off accomplishing the mission and then developing and moving forward from there. And the light bulb doesn't go on at the same time for everyone the same way. But the important thing is the perseverance. And I mean, I can see that Councilman Dura took those lessons and applied them in areas that he was passionate about, areas where he could make a great difference, and areas where he could develop an expertise that was going to help other people. When I see that, I can't think of a better award, really, as a teacher. So again, thank you, Councilman Dura. Thank you all, and this is very appreciated.
You have a C students everywhere. Oh, more than that. Yes. I wish you would have told my dad that.
Mine too. All right, everybody, right here. Okay, ready? All right, 1, 2, 3.
12843-23.
A proclamation recognizing Colleen Bowers and the Men Challenge, sponsored by Councilmember DeMarco.
Colleen, would you and the other folks that are here with you like to step up? Yeah, please. Or no, right here is fine. Folks, I had this opportunity to meet the next person we're going to be presenting a proclamation to through the Ancient Order of Hibernians at an event that they had a number of years ago. And it was something that I really enjoyed attending, but something that made a difference in my life because it brought attention to an issue that we're here to talk about today, and that's domestic violence. Colleen Bowers, and I call her a friend, Colleen lost her daughter 11 years ago, was murdered in a domestic violence incident, and Colleen has dedicated her life to doing something about it. And I wanted to recognize her today and the effort that she's put forth, the Center for Victims, and we're going to talk about the Men's Pledge. But first, I would like to read this proclamation in honor of Colleen. Whereas domestic violence, rape, and sexual assault are often seen as women's issues. However, that is not the case. Every individual has a role to play in ending violence against women and girls. And whereas the Center for Victims has launched a Men Ending Violence Challenge in which men are encouraged to make a pledge to learn more about how to be a proactive bystander and speak out about violence against women and girls. And whereas the center believes that men want to be actively involved in violence prevention, but don't always know where to start or what to do. The goal of the Men's Challenge is to educate men and give them the tools and resources necessary to make a change. And whereas men who participate in the Men's Challenge receive a toolkit that gives them themed monthly activities and educational tips that can be used in their homes, workplaces, social networks, and communities. And whereas Colleen Bowers, whose daughter Melissa was murdered in 2012, as a result of domestic violence, has dedicated countless hours to increasing awareness of domestic abuse and raising funds for the Pittsburgh-based Center for Victims. And whereas Colleen, along with Melissa's 2 children, brother, extended family, and friends, have engaged in several efforts so that no one else in her community has to die at the hands of a violent partner like her daughter did. And whereas over the years, Colleen has worked on a variety of initiatives and has hosted, in memory of Melissa Bowers, fundraisers to raise funds for the Center for Victims to help survivors of violence. And whereas Colleen has championed the Men's Challenge by working closely with the Center for Victims to encourage participation in the initiative. And whereas Colleen credits a lot of her fundraising efforts to being highly involved with the Ladies' Ancient Order of the Hibernians and the Ancient Order of the Hibernians. In fact, while Melissa was a member of the Ladies' Ancient Order of the Hibernians Division 11, she worked closely with the St. Patrick's Day Parade Committee, utilizing her design background to design buttons for the St. Patrick's Day Parade sponsor button for over 10 years. And whereas approached by Colleen years ago, the executive board of the Ancient Order of Hibernians committed to being participants in the program and also asked divisions throughout Pennsylvania and Allegheny County to do the same. And now asking the men of Allegheny County Council to accept this challenge as well. Now, therefore, it be resolved that we, Allegheny County Council members Sam DeMarco, Patrick Katina, and Bob Palmasina, do hereby recognize and thank Colleen Bowers for her dedication to help put an end to domestic violence in our region. And we recognize the Center for Victims Men Challenge, which educates men and gives them the tools and resources necessary to use their voices and their actions to be social change agents. In witness thereof, I have hereunto caused the seal of the County of Allegheny County to be affixed this 14th day of November 2023. I have signed this challenge and taken this pledge, and I encourage and ask the other members of this council to do the same. Colleen, thank you for everything that you did.
You know, I consider myself a very strong woman, a very strong Irish woman. But every time that I do a public thing, considering of the circumstances with my daughter, it's a very heartfelt. So I apologize in advance if I get tearful at times. I have to thank Sam, Katina, for everything that you did when I was doing the fundraisers in Carnegie, Bob Palmasino, and especially a thanks to my brother Hibernians. Denny Maher being the state AOH president, Bob Kelly being the Allegheny County AOH president, and the members that have come here from Division 17. And I just can't thank you enough. These men here are the ones that finally picked up the gauntlet that I have. I've been consistent on my message with them. They never want to clone me, that's for sure. But they are the ones that took the first gauntlet up with the Men's Challenge to their membership. And last year, I actually had convinced the national. So it's not only been from Pennsylvania, it's actually been through the National Ancient Order of Hibernians. There were 700 men that took the Men's Challenge pledge at our national convention here in Pittsburgh. With that said, I want to introduce Tyler Degg. He is actually the leader for the Men's Challenge at the Center for Victims. And I've been working with him since, oh my God, the first fundraiser I ever did after the 3 years vigils. So I appreciate all of his work too. And I'm probably going to go nuts, but this is Men's Challenge. It says the Men's Challenge. I understand that. And I know we have women on the board of the council here. And I did it with the women of the Ladies Ancient Order of Hibernians on the national side. I wish you too to take this challenge with the men standing forward as a united front on the council. I've already been approaching city council, but you guys took the first challenge, so I appreciate that. I will not be done once I go from here to city. My goal is to go to Harrisburg to bring forth the a resolution to bring all the domestic violence bills that are on the floors that have been passed, but members change, doors swing both ways, and they get forgotten. So that is my goal after I get done with the local government here, is to go to Harrisburg to do that, and then from there I'm moving up. Before I die, I pray to God I can make it to DC to make my message heard. But thank you, all of you.
Before you finish, please tell them about Amazon and the work you've been able to do with Amazon on this critical issue.
I work for Amazon. It took me 3.5 years to do this because I was like I said, I'm consistent on my message. Last spring, and they're going to do it again, I went and bought 7.5 pallets of blankets for some funds that I had raised. And I sent to 15 domestic violence shelters throughout the state, not just here in Allegheny County. I also sent 75 blankets to Shepherd's Love. That's where the transition for our veterans that are homeless and so on. And to the program, it's called Power, and it's women that are addiction. I sent 48 there. So it's not only my message for all of domestic violence, there's other victims of violence of some form or whatever. So that is where my message is. And what I found out, I've been off work because I had some surgery. My site lead told me while I was off, because I am a consistent person with message, they put in a request for $1,250 from my local site to go to the Center for Victims in memory of Melissa. Plus I have a 10-foot by, 8-foot wall in Amazon, and it's promoting awareness for domestic violence. So I'm normally a pain sometimes, but there's a reason, because it's coming from the heart of my soul, and that's all I want to say.
Hi, my name is Tyler Daig. I'm representing the Center for Victims. I've worked with Colleen for many years now. I was actually at her first fundraiser, and she's been just a force. I just wanted to give you a brief overview of the Men Challenge. We launched it at Center for Victims in 2014 because at the time, violence against women and girls was always framed as a woman's issue. It's what you're wearing, it's the way you're acting, you got to do safety tips. And we realized pretty quickly that, men need to be part of this conversation too. And we have more, at stake. So we are really asking all the men on the council here, as well as the women, if you have not already taken the Men Challenge, we would ask you to do so and join us in turning the corner on this issue. And I just want to thank personally from Center for Victims, Colleen, and all the work that she has done. She is absolutely amazing, and I am honored to know her.
Oh, sure, go ahead.
Can I challenge you to take the pledge? It's only really short, but if I could ask the council to actually stand up and take this pledge, it would be very heartfelt. Is that okay, Pat?
If you will repeat after me, I pledge not to participate in, approve of, or remain silent about violence. I pledge to be an active bystander. Who will speak out. About violence. Against women and girls. I will encourage. All men to work together. With Center for Victims. And use our collective voices. And resources. To end all forms of violence. Thank you all very much.
Now picture.
Thank you very much. Come on up front, pictures.
Oh.
Come on, guys.
All right. Okay, everybody ready? 1, 2, 3. Gotcha.
I was actually about to have a conversation with someone.
A proclamation honoring and congratulating the 2023 Get Involved 14th Annual Service Summit honorees, sponsored by Councilmember Dewar. And before proceeding, please let the record reflect that Ms. Bennett is now present.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My fellow Tom is back. I am honored. I am honored once again to have been asked by former Councilmember Baker to present the proclamation honoring this year's Get Involved Service Award honorees. As a past honoree in 2021, it is truly a privilege getting to recognize some of our region's finest public servants and rising stars. I know this is something that former Councilmember Baker has worked tirelessly to expand and grow upon since his time on council, and being able to have been a very small part of it and giving this proclamation, and well as being a recipient in 2021, is truly humbling. So I will read this proclamation, and then of course, Tom, you be able to speak so much more about this than I can. So, whereas Get Involved Pittsburgh was founded in 1999 to develop leaders who have a passion to revitalize communities. Get Involved is just one of 5 independent centers in the United States, with the first center being in San Francisco in 1942. Other Get Involved centers opened in Los Angeles, St. Louis, New York, and whereas each one of these centers form partnerships with philanthropic foundations, high schools, college campuses, governments, businesses, and civic networking associations in order to recruit various leaders who are passionate about revitalizing communities. And whereas Get Involved brings these leaders together into cohorts who learn to accomplish shared goals in a collaborative way and to sustain the leadership community after the Get Involved program. The leaders all hold true to Get Involved's mission throughout the program, and whereas Get Involved has the mission to advance ethical leaders in order to create a connected and inclusive community that is more livable for everyone. In doing so, Get Involved holds core values in their leaders such as whole system thinking, teamwork, experimental learning, and nurturing leadership. And whereas these core values have been extensively shown through in handfuls of leaders throughout this year's course, therefore recognizing, and I promise, I apologize if I butcher anyone's name, Sally Power and Lynn Banaszak for being awarded People of the Year, Michaela Forgel and for Emerging Leader Award, Kanal Sonali and Dr. Eric Kaufmel for the Community Leadership Award, and Brian Jacobson and Nelson Cooper IV for the Child Advocacy Award. And whereas with excellent in leadership and strong values, 13 individuals are being recognized as Western PA Rising Stars. They are Morgan Cable, Sarah Kertick, Regan Mickey, Joey Brantle, Vince Russo, Catherine Miller, Aaron Ortega, Carly Martin, Jara Dozie, Ariel Meadows, Lexi Stevenson, Corey DeSantis, Chris Chastity Bay, Lindsay Aquato Robles, Caitlin Weiser, Aaron McMaster, Cody Gill, Samantha Gooch, and Jessica Valengo. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Allegheny County Councilmember Tom Dewar, a former Get Involved Rising Star, do hereby recognize all the hard work and passion Get Involved Pittsburgh puts into developing leaders who have a passion to revitalize communities. In addition, I recognize and congratulate all of this year's award recipients and honorees. And witness hereof, I have hereunto caused the seal of Allegheny to be affixed this 14th day of November 2023. To all the honorees and Councilman Baker, congratulations.
Thanks. Thanks, Tom. All right. Thanks to Councilman Dewar for having us back again this year. It's a privilege to be here. It feels like homecoming. So I almost got up when you all did the pledge, to be honest. So congratulations to Harriet Tobias and also to Colleen Bowers. My question, though, from the presentation is, did Councilman Dewar win German Club Vice President?
Yes.
Oh, we did win it. Okay. I feel like it was a little bit of a cliffhanger. Like he said he ran for it. He did win, though. Okay.
It's the first time I learned that you can run for something you're completely unqualified for.
And win. Okay. Very good. Well, I'm glad that Tobias confirmed the victory. So I'm here with some amazing people. This night's about them. This is part 1 on a 3-part series of really honoring these incredible people that are making such a difference in the region. The 14th annual Pittsburgh Service Summit is this Thursday, 6 o'clock at the Coro Center for Civic Leadership. If it wasn't for the Coro Center for Civic Leadership, I likely would not have sat on that stage and that dais with you for 8 years. That is what got my civic journey going here in our region. My co-MC this year was in the Mr. Rogers movie. She was in A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, so that'll be fun, hopefully on Thursday night. But the Service Summit is all about bringing college students, young professionals, and lifelong learners together. That's what our organization does and all that we do. I do want to thank, we have one board member here. All of the female members have helped me actually plan the event, but Dan Soltesz is here to take all the credit. No, Dan Soltesz is our longest, I think half of you know Dan. Dan Soltesz is our longest tenured board member. We're very happy to have him here tonight. He is an inaugural board member, and we've been doing this for a long, long time. He also won the Rising Star Award at our first Service Summit, and I promised that he was 10 years old at that event, right, Dan? So we're very proud to have Dan here and to have him serving on the board. He's very happy for you, Councilman Palmieri, as well, for your recent re-election. So congratulations to these honorees. They are making a big, big difference every single day in our region, and I think for one of them, she is actually getting a second proclamation tonight from Councilmember Filiaggi. So we'll do that in just a minute. She might not know that it's coming. She might know. But I would like for each of them to maybe just share real quickly who they are and their favorite thing to get involved with. Does that sound okay? Sure. Okay, Chastity. This is her third award event in the last week, by the way. Chastity Bay.
Hi, everybody. I don't even know what my favorite is because they all like make me feel a different way. But I'd say right now it is because it's the first year back because of the pandemic. It might be working with RIF for the Everybody Wins program and reading with a kid every week. So I think that one, because I haven't done it in so long, it's now getting me back in my field. So I think right now that's my favorite.
All right, thanks, Chastity. Our next person is a former Athena Award winner. That is the top female executive community leader in the region. That is Lynn Banaszak, Person of the Year.
I love Tom's introductions. I want to go. I want him to go everywhere I go because of how gracious he is with his introductions. I would say, and thank you for all of that. I would say that the two most important things that I think getting involved with are getting young people motivated and excited in civic leadership. And I also spent a large portion of my career forming early stage companies in this region. And so I think taking innovation off of the bench or taking innovation that's very nascent and turning it into companies that not only change the world through their technological advances, but also help this region prosper and grow. Those are my two favorites. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Grateful to be here. We are all in this together. I don't think there's a higher calling that we have than serving the community. I think what Get Involved does is it really nurtures that spirit and shows them how to engage with the community in a meaningful way. And so it's a great privilege and honor to be here and to be associated with Get Involved. I just think you set the standard for engaging with the community. We can't do this alone. We all have to get together and find a way to work together to make a difference. And thank you for doing that. Really appreciate it.
And if anyone doesn't know who you are, which I'm sure everyone does, who are you?
Kanu Sani. I work for Highmark Health, and it's my privilege actually to be very engaged with community health and community resilience at a very basic level all across our footprint. Thank you so much.
I'm Ariel Meadows, and I think the two organizations that really stick out to me that I'm involved with are Strong Women, Strong Girls, and Reading is Fundamental. To me, it's just the importance of mentorship. I didn't have that when I was younger, and I think that kids should have that early on. It's really important in the developmental stages in your career. So.
2 votes for RIF so far.
Hi, everyone. I'm Joy Brentley. Several of us were actually worried. We were concerned that we would have to speak, so we wouldn't have anything prepared. But it's all right. We'll figure it out. But I think I'm lucky to say that probably my favorite thing that I do is the main thing that I do, which is working for Connect the Congress of Neighboring Communities. I've admired their work for years, I would say, at this point. And I'm really happy to be able to help expand the LEAD program in Allegheny County since it's saved and changed so many lives across the country. So I'm really excited to be able to do that. So thank you all for this. Thank you for the award. I appreciate it so much. I'm really excited to be here. Thank you, guys.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jay Raduse, and I would have to say that my favorite part, my favorite thing to get involved with would be the next generation, whether that's reading to children at a elementary school or the way I spent the first part of my day, which is taking a group of college students around our state's capital, just letting them see firsthand what happens, where policy's made, where real lives are changed, where their lives are changed. That's where I really like to be. So. Thank you guys for letting me speak. There we go.
Yeah, a couple of our folks came back from Harrisburg just to be with you all. I think Morgan.
Hi, I'm very nervous. But my name is Morgan Cable, and I am the Community Engagement Coordinator at Hearth, which is a transitional housing program for mothers and their children who have experienced domestic violence or other significant trauma. I would say that my favorite part is really my job. I love my job. I love what I do. But I would say my favorite part about that is childcare and working with our kiddos. I am a longtime nanny and postpartum doula, so I really care for maternal and child support. And it's my favorite thing to do is to hang out with our kids, play with them, and just be a part of their lives. So thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks.
Hi, my name is Reagan Mickey, and one big thing that I like to look at in the world is it's one thing to be a big thing, a big part of something small, but it's so much more impactful to be a small part of something big. And so that's why I get involved in the community. I'm involved in a lot of capacity, but one of my favorite things is actually echoing what Morgan said. I work at Hearth in volunteering, and I'm also on the Young Professional Board, and I have such a joy of working with the kids. They are wild, they're crazy, but they have so much love and so much joy just to be a part of the Hearth community and a part of the family in a safe space. And we're able to create that and create some fun with it. So thank you so much for this recognition. It's such an honor.
Thanks, Reagan. What a great group of honorees, right? So Thursday night is going to be incredible. I feel like I was hard on Dan Soltesz earlier. So Dan, what has your favorite thing been to be involved with?
Getting to come to county council.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. All right. Thanks again for the recognition. Thursday night's going to be amazing if anyone's looking for anything positive and happy to do. Congratulations to these honorees. And as we often say within Get Involved, there's so much to do in our region. Don't be bored. Be on a board of directors. Do something positive in this life to help others and volunteer. So we'll
Before we do the picture, Councilman DeMarco has something he'd like to say.
Hey, don't go anywhere, Baker. Folks, my name's Sam DeMarco, and my favorite thing to do today is to give a proclamation to one of our former council members who is so committed to the community. I mean, has anybody been watching him up here while he's introducing these people? He's up there clapping with glee, not just happy, with like glee. He's going up and down the whole bit, right? Tom, you, from the first time I met you, you have always been incredibly involved in so many different things with the community. And you know, I mean, that's what they call it, get involved, right? But so we wanted to recognize you. Whereas Thomas Baker is being honored by the Pittsburgh Business Times as a C-Suite Award recipient for his exemplary executive leadership at the North Hills Community Outreach, a social services nonprofit that provides over 23,234 services to more than 4,000 neighbors experiencing hardship, crisis, and poverty. And whereas prior to this role, Tom spent 12 years at Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Greater Pittsburgh in the role of Chief Community Affairs Officer and Vice President of Programs, as well as mentoring 4 little brothers of his own through the organization. And whereas Tom is the founder and Chief Program Officer of Get Involved, Inc., a 501c3 public charity nonprofit organization that educates and empowers young leaders, and which hosts the Pittsburgh Service Summit and the Fast Track Community Leadership Program. And whereas in addition to these roles, Tom volunteers weekly with Anchor Point Counseling Ministry as a tutor, is the current Hampton Township Rotary Club president, a Pittsburgh North Regional Chamber board member, and chair of Nonprofits North, Millersville, his alumnus, university trustee, and provides and presents annual scholarships to students at North Hills High School, Millersville University, and Indiana University of Pennsylvania. And whereas Tom is also former Pittsburgh East Rotary Club president, an elected member of Allegheny County Council for District 1, and also former elected North Hills School District Director. And whereas over his years of dedicated service, Tom received numerous accolades such as the 2011 Young Business Leader of the Year, the 2018 Mayor Richard S. Caligiuri Good Samaritan Award, the 2018 Young Professional of the Year Award, the 2020 Community Partner of the Year, the Distinguished Civic Leadership Award, the Young Alumni Achievement Award, and Community Champion Award, just to name a few. And whereas Tom and his wife Erin have been married since July 10th, 2004, they live in Ross Township with their 5-year-old daughter, Lila June Baker. Now therefore be it resolved that I, Allegheny County Councilmember Sam DeMarco, and all members of council do hereby recognize Thomas Baker for his contributions to Allegheny County and to the enhancement of the well-being of the county's citizens. This council thanks him for his years of distinguished service, and we wish him all the best. In witness thereof, I have hereunto caused the seal of the county of Allegheny County to be affixed this 14th day of November 2023. I used to tease him about him and his wife not having a home. I said they must live out of a storage container, because if you followed him on social media, he was going from one event to another. It seemed like, when did he have time to change his clothes? But really, even reading that and all the accomplishments he has, it's even more impressive. Congratulations, Tom.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you, friends. And just the thing that I've shared before here and in other spots is Tom Baker. Like, I'm not the nicest Tom Baker I've ever known in my life. My dad's name was Tom Baker. He passed away at 39. So a lot of what we're doing and hopefully achieving and growing and being together is in his honor and his memory. Canoe, your award is in his memory, the Community Leader of the Year award. So I appreciate this very much. I will say at the C-Suite Awards last Thursday, Jackie remembers this, I did make a campaign announcement, and it relates to what I'm doing at 6:30 tonight. But in the next 3 years or 4 years, I, Tom Baker, plan to run for Westview PTA president. So you heard it here first. Jack was getting nervous. No, I'm running for PTA president for Westview, and the meeting is at 6:30 here tonight. So thank you for the opportunity to serve. And again, thank you for these amazing people that I'm standing beside and with here tonight. And Sam and Tom, thank you for the nice surprise.
Pictures, folks.
Pictures.
Come on up here.
Thank you.
Tom, that's going to be tough.
PTA president. So we will be here.
Rose, thorns on the end. It's on the other side.
When you're sure, you always have to be in a
All right. Everybody right here, ready? All right, 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's good.
All right, Steve. Wow.
I got it. You're good.
So the first 8 years back. Please carry the eyes. Thank you. All right, thanks everyone.
Thank you so much.
That's right. We were saying he's going to be the TA president.
Congratulations, everyone.
All right, Lynn, I think you have something else coming your way.
Councilmember Filiaggi, I believe you have something to add as well this evening.
That's great. Yeah, I'll get these out Thursday. Oh, okay. This is no. Do they have another? That's like the big one. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Whose are these? Cody. Okay. And then this is yours. Okay. All right. Oh, thank you.
Hello. What an inspirational event we're having here today. I'm honored to have been asked to be a part of it. So this proclamation is something we've, thank you, President Katina, for letting us put this on the agenda. And essentially, this is something that also former Councilman Tom Baker, one of his inspirations, and we're grateful because this is a day that I think everyone really feels good to see all of the philanthropy and the heartwarming presentations. This proclamation that I'm presenting has to do with kindness, which very timely in today's world and what is going on. So I am honored. Thank you, Lynn, for letting me speak to this for the moment.
Thank you.
So this involves the Kaylee Lynn McDowell Foundation, which is something that I've immersed myself in figuring out what this foundation does, and it's inspirational. It centers around the untimely death of a beautiful young girl before her 18th birthday, and that was Kaylee Lynn McDowell. But during her time, and she died of Crohn's disease, but during her short time on this earth, she epitomized kindness and perseverance and resilience. And in honor of that, there's a foundation that does many things, gives scholarships, and has many different programs that Lynn will tell us about. But the mission of the foundation is working to transform political, social, and economic systems and institutions to create a kinder, more equitable, and just society for all. I mean, that's something we all want to be a part of, right? So the proclamation itself, honored to read, that says, whereas one random act of kindness, no matter how small, can make an enormous impact on someone else's life. Kindness can make the world a better place and has a positive impact on any institution. The giving of oneself in service to another empowers both the giver and the recipient. And whereas by knowing, understanding, and using the power of kindness, we have the ability to send out a positive ripple that can endure over time. Through acts of kindness, dedication to civility, and creating a belongingness for all people, we can promote healthy behavior and positive dynamics within our own community. And whereas Allegheny County Council will join in Kaylee Lynn McDowell Kindness Day to help raise awareness of the value of kindness. Acts of kindness must be and should be extended to one another, regardless of social or economic status, education, gender, origin, religious belief, age, lifestyle, or abilities. And whereas the Kaylee Lynn McDowell Foundation is dedicated to increasing awareness of kindness in the Pittsburgh region and dedicated to reaffirming the importance of having a positive and supportive community. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Allegheny County Council member Suzanne Filiaggi, and all of council do hereby declare November 13th, 2023 to be Kaylee Lynn McDowell Kindness Day in Allegheny County. And I urge, as we've all been urged today, all individuals to extend acts of kindness to one another, regardless of social or economic status, gender, education, origin, religious belief, lifestyle, or abilities. And I affix the seal of the county here to make the 13th day of November 2023 Kaylee Lynn McDowell Kindness Day. And Lynn Banaszak, who she's already been given such a presentation by Mr. Baker, is here to also tell us a little bit more and give us some inspirational cards that have been a part of the foundation to give us constant reminders of what kindness can do to make our world a better place.
Well, and I'm going to give you
Kindness
Kindness Ambassador shirt.
Thank you. Thank you very much. This is actually great. Yes.
I will pass them. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you all very much for giving the Kaylee Lynn McDowell Foundation this opportunity to be recognized as part of such a beautiful evening of recognition. I think one of the things, I'm Kaylee Lynn McDowell's aunt. Kaylee was just shy of her 18th birthday in 2016 when a mysterious illness that we were solving for and trying so hard to figure out took her life. It was the catastrophic results of undiagnosed Crohn's disease after a 42-day battle in the hospital, fighting to stay with us. And it was very important to us, I think. Kaylee went to Woodland Hills High School here in Allegheny County, and I was the first 9th grade class of the Woodland Hills School District when all of the 12 communities that make up that beautiful district were put together in the early 80s, aging myself, please don't calculate, in the 80s when we were part of a federally mandated desegregation plan. And so the legacy of Kaylee, the legacy of the children at Woodland Hills means everything to our family. Kaylee was the consummate humanitarian. I think all of us, Tom spoke about, you spoke about your daughter, I think turning pain into purpose, in some ways we do for ourselves. But when you can do that with someone who already has created a legacy for themselves in the world at such a young age, it's a very powerful thing that I take very seriously. The foundation has given out since Kaylee's passing nearly $100,000 in scholarships to young people who not only are good students, but more importantly, find common ground with other young people, volunteer their time. We register young people to vote, and so we try to do pop-up voter registrations to get 18-year-olds to register. Kaylee passed away before she could register to vote, but it was her, I mean, when I tell you she didn't want to do it online, she wanted to come down here, she wanted to go to the election office, she wanted it to be ceremonious because she believed that your voice is your vote, and it was a powerful way to make a difference in the world. In addition to that, we have a Mother's Bereavement Circle that we convene once a month in the community center in Braddock because unfortunately for the young people of Woodland Hills, street violence has an epidemic effect in their lives. And Kaylee, her young brother, have both lost best friends, teammates, classmates to gun violence and unsolved murders. And so the Mother's Bereavement Circle is also a very important place where we support one another in that community. I could go on and on. We try to make a difference in lots of ways that we think young people will be inspired and also contribute to their own success. And so very much like you said, anytime I hear Kaylee McDowell's name, particularly in front of an audience like this, it's very emotional for me. Kaylee wanted to have a life in service. She wanted to go to get her undergrad, go on to get her law degree. She saw herself walking in the halls of DC, knocking on doors and fighting for people that didn't have a voice as strong as hers. So thank you for saying her name here this evening, and thank you very much for the recognition for the foundation.
Gonna do the picture?
Oh, yeah, because I love taking pictures. My favorite. Thank you all so much.
Our pleasure. Thank you for what you do.
Thank you.
Ready, 1, 2, 3. Gotcha. Just one more, please.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Oh. I could have swore I had a chair.
The remaining proclamations will be read into the record. 12845-23.
A proclamation recognizing and honoring members who work hard to honor veterans with the Veterans Day Parade, which took place on Saturday, November 11th, 2023, sponsored by Councilmember DeMarco.
12846-23.
A proclamation commending the hard work and dedication of Fox Chapel High School student Anna DeLale O'Connor, sponsored by Councilmembers Pritzio and Fatulis.
12847-23.
A proclamation congratulating Gala Jewelers on the momentous occasion of its 75th anniversary, sponsored by Councilmember Macy.
12848-23.
A proclamation honoring Ruth Heideck for her half-century of service to the Girl Scouts of America, sponsored by Councilmember Pritzio.
Is there any public comment on agenda item?
Not on agenda items, no.
Approval of minutes, 12849-23.
Motion to approve the minutes of the September 26, 2023 regular meeting of council.
So moved. Motion has been made and second. Is there any discussion? Hearing no discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. 12850-23.
Motion to approve the minutes of the October 10th, 2023 regular meeting of council.
Make a motion to approve. Motion has been made and second. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. 12851-23.
A motion to approve the minutes of the October 24th, 2023 regular meeting of council.
Make a motion to approve. Motion has been made and second. Is there any discussion? Hearing no discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries. Presentation of appointments, none. Unfinished business, Committee on Economic Development and Housing for the second reading, 12840-23.
A resolution approving a project for the benefit of Duquesne University of the Holy Spirit, a Pennsylvania nonprofit corporation, to be financed by the Allegheny County Higher Education Building Authority by the issuance of the authority's taxable and/or tax-exempt revenue bonds in one or more series, an aggregate principal amount not to exceed $35 million, provided the taxing power of the County of Allegheny, Pennsylvania, shall not be obligated in any way with respect to the bonds, and declaring the financing of such project as desirable for the health, safety, and welfare of the people in the county, sponsored by the Chief Executive.
Councilmember Kowski.
The Committee on Economic Development and Housing met on November 1st and affirmatively recommended this resolution to council. I make that motion.
Second.
Second. Motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion. Roll call vote, please, Jared.
On the motion to approve, Ms. Bennett.
Yes.
Mr. Bekowski.
Yes.
Mr. DeMarco.
Yes.
Mr. Dewar.
Yes.
Ms. Filiaggi.
Yes.
Mr. Fatulis.
Yes.
Ms. Hallam.
Yes.
Mr. Klein.
Yes.
Mr. Macy.
Yes.
Ms. Nakaradi-Chapkus.
Yes.
Mr. Palmieri.
Yes.
Mr. Palmasina.
Yes.
Ms. Pritzio.
Yes.
Mr. Walton.
Yes.
President Katina.
Yes.
Ayes 15, no 0. The bill passes.
Liaison reports. Any liaison reports this evening? Councilman Dewar.
President Katina, very quickly just wanted to thank the Elections to Office and Department for what was I think, relatively smooth election day. There were a couple issues that popped up during the day, but they were all resolved fairly quickly. Wanted to also give an update on the provisional ballots and precincts. So today, this morning, the return board reconvened at 9 o'clock to continue their work on provisional ballot research. Today was also the deadline for overseas ballots. Once the mail was finished receiving today, the mail was received, processed, those ballots were opened and counted. Provisional ballots that are recommended for full partial count, for which no challenge has been recorded, will also be opened and processed today. Those votes will be uploaded before today's end of business, and the official database will also be uploaded with all precincts reporting to the election results page before the end of business today. So those should also already be online. Just wanted to give everyone an update on that. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else this evening? Councilman Fatulis.
Good. Hi. Last Thursday, the Sports and Exhibition Authority had met, and I believe I had forwarded the agenda to all of you. And just want to comment, I've been on the SCA for at least, 8 years now, and it's amazing to see the amount of money it takes to operate the convention center in our stadiums. It's just amazing. The maintenance involved, and I hope that you review what I sent you because it's hard to believe that amount of money to maintain these facilities, and it's well deserved, and they're beautiful, and they're very well taken care of, and that's been a part of the job I've had for the last 8 years. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else this evening? Okay. Steve, I had a question actually, but Jen's not here, and you don't need to give me an answer tonight, but could you get us an update on Schumann Center? I mean, what the process, I know it's in litigation, I understand all that, but I'm just curious as to where we are with obviously the rehab, and then when we expect children to start being housed there, defenders to start being housed there. If you could get that to us, it'd be appreciated. Thank you. At this point in time, new business ordinances and resolutions, 12852-23.
An ordinance of the County of Allegheny, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, establishing the tax levy upon all real property subject to taxation within the limits of Allegheny County for fiscal year 2024, sponsored by Councilmember Paul Messina.
That will go to the Committee on Budget and Finance. 12853-23.
An ordinance of the County of Allegheny, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, amending and supplementing the Allegheny County Code of Ordinances, Division 2, entitled County Government Operations, Chapter 205, entitled Allegheny County Jail, through the creation of a new Article 3, entitled Incarcerated Individuals Welfare Fund, in order to establish county budgetary procedures for revenues derived from individuals incarcerated at the Allegheny County Jail, sponsored by Councilmember Hallam.
That will go to Budget and Finance. 12854-23.
An ordinance of the County of Allegheny, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, amending the Administrative Code of Allegheny County, Part 2, entitled Organization and Structure of County Government, through the establishment of a new Article 214, entitled Jail Oversight Board, in order to provide for the codification of operations of the Jail Oversight Board in accordance with Commonwealth law, to establish a statutory authorization for the Allegheny County Jail Oversight Board's retention of a solicitor to assist in its functions, and to establish the board's authority to expend future appropriations relating to the Allegheny County Jail Inmate Welfare Fund.
That will go to
Councilmember
Budget
Howell.
and Finance as well. 12855-23.
It's all me.
An ordinance authorizing the Department of Public Works to take certain actions on behalf of County Council with respect to the issuance of temporary occupancy permits, highway occupancy permits, the grant of certain licenses, rights of entry and easements, and the amicable acquisition of certain real estate affecting county public works projects, and other matters for calendar years 2024 and 2025, sponsored by the Chief Executive.
That will go to Public Works. 12856-23.
A resolution of the County of Allegheny, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, adopting an operating budget pursuant to Article 4, Section 2, and Article 7, Section 4 of the Home Rule Charter, by setting forth appropriations to pay the expenses of conducting the public business of Allegheny County and for meeting debt charges for the fiscal year beginning January 1st, 2024, and ending December 31st, 2024, sponsored by Councilmember Paul Messina.
12857, that'll go to Budget and Finance. 12857-23.
A resolution of the County of Allegheny, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, adopting a capital budget pursuant to Article 4, Section 2, and Article 7, Section 4 of the Home Rule Charter, by setting forth appropriations to pay the expenses for capital expenditures during the fiscal year beginning January 1st, 2024, and ending December 31st, 2024, sponsored by Councilmember Paul Messina.
That will go to Budget and Finance. 12858-23.
A resolution of the County of Allegheny, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, adopting grants budget, special accounts budget, and agency fund budget by setting forth appropriations to pay said expenses during the fiscal year beginning January 1st, 2024, and ending December 31st, 2024, sponsored by Councilmember Paul Messina.
That will go to Budget and Finance as well. New business. 12859-23.
A motion of the Council of Allegheny County authorizing the payment of 2 invoices for extraordinary professional services rendered as a result of litigation captioned County Council of the County of Allegheny, Pennsylvania versus Rich Fitzgerald and Allegheny County, and County of Allegheny, I apologize, sponsored by Councilmember Katina.
Councilman Palmieri, would you like to make that motion?
Yes, please.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Just for the record, the total amount is $94.83 that are actually approving. Are there, motion has been made and seconded. Discussion?
Is that, Mr. President, is that, you said 9483?
$9,483.
Thank you.
Any question or any discussion? Any further discussion? Hearing none. Jared, please take roll call vote.
On the motion to approve, Ms. Bennett.
Yes.
Mr. Bekowski.
Yes.
Mr. DeMarco.
Yes.
Mr. Dewar.
Yes.
Ms. Filiaggi.
Yes.
Mr. Fatulis.
Yes.
Ms. Hallam.
Yes.
Mr. Klein.
Yes.
Mr. Macy.
Yes.
Ms. Nacarati Chapkus.
Yes.
Mr. Palmieri.
Yes.
Mr. Paul Messina.
Yes.
Ms. Pritzio. Mr. Walton.
No.
President Katina.
Yes.
Ayes 14, noes 1. The bill passes.
Notification of contracts 12860-23.
A communication summarizing approved executive actions for the month of October 2023.
Receive and file, please.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries. Public comment on general items.
We have 4. First up is Tom Pike.
Next.
Next would be Kelly Marenko Strain.
Next.
Next would be Rose Delaney.
Next.
Last up would be Jacob Poole.
Oh, God. Oh, God, help me. Oh, my God.
Good evening. I'm Jacob Poole, formerly Zsolt Jakab from Eastern Europe. I am here. I exist in Allegheny County, and I'm isolated. I'm kept isolated in a slave pool for exploitation. I'm not welcome anywhere. I have college education. I get fired from places. I'm not integrated into society. I was actually brought here with hundreds of children that was prepared in Eastern Europe after the Czechoslovakian, Hungarian, Yugoslav, East Berlin stuff. I was in a pool of hundreds of kids being prepared to be transported to America, violating international law. But there's no police for those types of things, because when you're judge, jury, executioner, that's what you do. So I was brought here away from our families, and I'm here still. I'm walking around Pittsburgh telling people I'm an abducted child from Eastern Europe, from Holocaust survivors, and I'm not surrounded by people helping me. You don't see 5 organizations behind me. In fact, I reached out to Tom Baker's organization, who was just here, and never responded to my emails. I'm a child trafficking survivor living here in Pittsburgh alone. I taught people of child abducted from Eastern Europe by child traffickers in the area for exploitation who posted pictures of me online hurting me and trying to extort Holocaust survivors in Eastern Europe in politics and in finance. And I get left out of places, and I get chased out of places, and I'm alone, isolated, strange medical things. And I was walking here next to Duquesne University, next to the fire hall, because I'm known for handing out flyers. Since I handed out 40,000 flyers in Allegheny County, Westmoreland County for child trafficking, being part of a 200 to 1,000 child gathered of children that were being child trafficked to America in the 90s and 80s and 90s from Central and Eastern Europe. The firemen came out and spat on the ground next to me, because I'm known for handing out child trafficking awareness flyers. So I'm not welcome anywhere. I'm the biggest jerk in the area, and I exist in a slave pool in Allegheny County. I kicked out of police stations. Doesn't matter. I am literally in a child trafficked, exist in a slave pool with emails and everything's blocked. I apply to jobs. I go to CareerLink, and no one works with me. And this is what I try to get a lawyer for discrimination lawsuits from being fired from PNC Bank. No one cares. I try to get a lawyer for being child trafficked. Nobody cares, because that's how slave pools work. In this area, there are at least hundreds, to not thousands, of people that were brought here in the last 30 years, just like I was, from Central and Eastern Europe, from Holocaust survivors, Eastern Europeans, child abducted, child trafficked, and we were kept isolated in the slave pool in Allegheny County and Westmoreland County, alone, hurting with medical issues, kept isolated without human contact. I don't have an emergency contact put down on a single form. And that's how slavery works. And you guys don't have any slavery laws at the local level, only at the federal level, and they use scare tactics.
Thank you, Jacob. Thank you. At this point in time, before we adjourn for this evening, I'd like to wish Councilwoman Bennett and her husband Terrence a happy 10th anniversary. Congratulations, Liv. Is there a motion to adjourn? Motion has been made. Is there a second? Second. Motion has been made and second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. All those opposed, motion carries. Thank you. Have a wonderful evening.
Stay easy.